When we talk about Appian World, we know we've picked a very specific title for this conference. It was Powering the Modern Enterprise. And I'd like to begin a little discussion about what that word modern means. When we think about the word modern, we often think bleeding edge, cutting edge, futuristic, when actually the word modern means what you can do today. It's about the present. It's about using the technology that we have available to us today to drive the business that we operate, to drive the efficiencies and leverage those technologies to operate our business. And I always like to look at these things in a perspective of a historical context and taking us back maybe 50, 60 years about how technology evolved and how we were leveraging technology throughout the years. And if anyone recognizes this picture, this is a picture of the ENIAC in 1945, one of the first computer systems to ever be deployed. And it revolutionized a lot of the business operations for the United States military, United States government. When you think about leveraging that technology, yes, it took 3 days to program a simple algorithm into the ENIAC. But once it was up and running, it could do what a mathematician could do in about 20 hours. The ENIAC was about to do in 15 minutes. Fantastic value savings as we leverage that technology. And as we grew through the years in the next decade, we saw in the 1950s the movement of technology to no longer manually programming things, but punch cards and tape-based information, and bringing that into the enterprise for solving all sorts of other solutions and making sure that we were leveraging that technology to also grow the businesses. Unfortunately, at the time, though, these technologies still took up about an entire building or an entire room. Actually, when we look back at the ENIAC was actually how many times larger than, say, the processor in my iPhone? It was 40 million times larger than what you have in your pocket right now as far as the size of that device compared to the size of the device in your pocket. And as well, the ENIAC as well was 17,000 times more expensive. And that was not even accounting for the adjustment of the actual value of the thing from between 1950s money and today's money. But as we brought in, we saw that actually we don't need these separate buildings to run these computers. We can actually bring those right inside our offices and have a giant tape backup system with evolving into the mainframe, and actually have maybe a terminal where someone interacts with the device rather than punch cards and other interfaces. And then we said, well, even better, let's start giving these computers to everyone in the office so we all can be more connected and more intelligent and leverage this technology in the 1980s. As we start to kind of build that connection of a business based on technology. And then we said, well, better yet, let's make our workers work 24/7 while their kids are grabbing them. So let's have these concept called teleworkers. Anyone a teleworker here where you work from home and maybe your kids are interrupting you? And isn't that a wonderful invention where now you can have your entire office right where you work? And not only that, as well, in the 1990s and the 2000s, so we were able to bring in the whole desktop environment, a big printer, and all these environments into our office while the kids bothering us, trying to get our RFPs and our work done. But then we're in today. And today, it's even better, because not only can we work at home, we can work anywhere. And we definitely work in this multiple device, multiple world where we're leveraging technology in a variety of ways to solve our challenges. As a software company like Appian, we're always trying to think of how can we be on both the cutting edge, looking at the future, but deliver the modern technologies that you have available today, the things that you can go buy at a Best Buy or Amazon.com, go buy those things and start to leverage those technologies in your enterprise to maximize the efficiency of your organization. So those challenges that we think about today, we see as two big challenges that Appian's focusing on. One is the staggering growth of information. In the past several years, we've seen data repositories grow exponentially, and we're going to continue to see that growth get higher and higher. So there's an IDC report that talks about 50 times more amount of information, 70 times more the number of information containers. And unfortunately for the enterprise, these containers are being spread all across the enterprise. So it's in Salesforce, it's in SAP, it's in custom developed systems, it's on a content management repository. And in order to make intelligent decisions, we need to really harness that information. Harness that information so your employers or your workers can understand it more efficiently, leverage it to make smarter decisions, and engage in the context of it as they work in their processes and responding to actions. But as well, the modern worker is a different worker as it is today. Daryl talked earlier about a mobile-first strategy. That is very future-leading, thinking about mobile-first, but the reality is, I think this really represents where we are today. where I'm not sure how many people of you have a smartphone device, right? Almost the entire audience probably. How many also then have a laptop device or a desktop device or a tablet device? And everyone uses these things, and it's a multi-dimensional platform. And we no longer work in a world where it's enterprise IT, we can develop for just Windows and be done. We need to develop for iOS, Android, for Mac, for all these different devices that people bring in. And it's the responsibility of the software vendor, like Appian, to deliver a solution for you to leverage that works in all these different devices. The idea is, in the past, IT has taken on a huge amount of responsibility to basically make sure that we dissect all these different types of IT components, optimize the hardware, understand the operating systems, and we need to pass a lot of that responsibility to the software vendor. The software vendor should really take on that responsibility as the IT practitioner for your organization to keep you able to leverage modern devices.